For those of you who are new to what I leave online, and or fill in the blank, the topmost in terms of Instagram is a public account you could go to, and there's stuff in there. There's also a lot of stuff that has been removed because our masters are, a bunch of fascist fill in the blanks. If you hit me up on some of these other ones, I probably won't let anybody in. It's just what I've been doing. My primary account is the one second above the bottom. 3 up, I sell books on there. You don't have to go there, but if you're looking for books, I usually overprice a lot of this shit. Sometimes you can find them elsewhere. Full disclosure, I'm trying to pay rent. Seriously, full disclosure. What else? Books that I've written, you can find on A Monkey's Tea Party. Usually that's kind of a slush pile of just internet shit that makes people laugh. Cat videos by and large. But I have posted other stuff on there and it's been flagged. In terms of my hashtags, you're probably only going to find hashtags associated with me having to do with A Monkey's Tea Party and Obsidian Monarch. All of my hashtags having to do with Ken, the second one above, or the second one from the bottom, second one above the bottom most, are blocked. I've been blocked for like 2 or 3 years. It's that bad. You can also look up KEIANH on Facebook, but I don't use it too much. There's still a whole bunch of shit in there too, and a lot of it's been blocked. That's Instagram. I'll record a YouTube video too, in case somebody sits through this and they're curious. So I've had other YouTubes, one of which was the precursor to this, and it was flagged for sexual content and some other absolutely ridiculous and arbitrary horse shit, and deleted, and I had no way to contest it. Also remember my last TikTok was deleted for fill in the fucking blank. I didn't break community standards, but don't take my word for it. There are a shit ton of videos in here, most of which I have made private, but there are still things in here you could learn if you're interested. I'll show you another one here in a second. I use this one the least of all these days. At least that's how it's been shaken out, because this was mostly me trying to get through to people not being receptive, and then it was a lot of rants, hoping to goad people in the right direction, but people aren't usually willing to pick up what I'm putting down. I've been leaving a fair share of things here in YouTube as of late. There's still some rants in here, and tirades. I've been bitching about TikTok because everyone said TikTok was the bread and butter of the internet. Oh look, 5G's really efficient. Remember, it works in short, controlled bursts, not unlike how demons are said to have moved through fill in the blank again, the ether, energy, magnetism, electricity, etc., etc. There's a number of videos in here. I also made some of these private as well when I was trying to convince people to do something and they didn't want to do it, clearly. I find it interesting too. In the last account I show you, I have 53 people. In this one I have 35. I'll show you another one here in a second. So out of the kindness of my jaded heart, I started leaving stuff online again, teaching you things flat out for the most part, free of the tirades for the most part. There's a number of videos in here you could watch. The Rainbow Seminar's in here, which people should watch. It's the only one that has a copyright next to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down with that little dude with the mustache. And you should check it out if you haven't. I've got a whopping 10 subscribers in here because people don't see what I leave online because it's not in your feed. Yeah. But as always, what the fuck do I know? I'll splice this in with another thought. Dear Internet, I'm going to step away from this jazz for probably about 30 days. Technically, maybe longer, but we'll see if I even keep to that. I've been leaving things online for folks steadily for over a decade now. Consider my main profile in Instagram. Many kids will try to use this against me somehow. They'll say, you've only got, I have under 100 people in there. I've cleaned a lot of people out, but I've never had too many in there anyhow. But they'll say, you have less than such and such, and you have 60,000 posts. And I'm like, yeah, I've been leaving things on the internet. I'm aware of this. Yeah, but I guess that's meant to be an insult. Just the same. Uh, Keep in mind that September 23rd is in the programming numerous fucking times over. Usually it's space rocks and or quite literally think of the Seth Rogen, James Franco, who else is in that movie? A bunch of Danny McBride, This Is the End of the World stuff, which also that coincided with the Rapture. Keep that in mind. Take the last bit with a grain of salt, especially because I love the joke around that Christians long to be put into a trebuchet and launched at the moon. You know, I'm being raptured. Either way, yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking about stepping away, and I'm long-winded, and I feel like there's always so much more I want to teach people and rattle off. Most people don't see these things anyway because it's not in your feed, which means you weren't spoon-fed it. Chances of you even seeing this are less than likely, and the same applies to information that would otherwise benefit you, not this message in particular, but across the internet. You should look at other people's stuff if they seem like they're on the level to some degree, even the smallest degree, and you've seen a couple other things in your feed. Maybe you should look at their account and see if there's more in there, because the decent shit that reflects reality isn't in the feed anymore. It's usually superficial slop by design. As always, what the fuck do I know? Be vigilant, not paranoid. Yeah, and in a very Spike Lee kind of a sense, even though he works for our masters, do the right fucking thing. Follow your heart, all that stuff. This is my internet pep talk. And like I said, I'm going to step away as of the blue moon, which also will coincide with September 23rd. Yeah. Yeah. Stiffen your upper lip and all that other shit. Thanks for hanging out. The plan is to focus on health, healing, all that other stuff. Stepping away from the noise and embracing the silence, if you will. Stepping away from the electricity and embracing the magnetism. Remember, you got to find a middle ground. So that's going to have to factor in. But a healing period is what I'm planning on doing. Fasting, tithing, all the good stuff. Sacrifice, crudely speaking. Physically, emotionally, mentally, yada yada, including eating better, sleeping at night, and not using the internet as often as I have been, or electronics in general. It'd be neat if I could get out of the city, but I don't have a truck, so there's that. The other thing is I'm also ironically contemplating piecing together the final touches on some pretty long videos, one of which is the answer to it's the video that would follow up. Okay, how can I put it? There's a test question I left online for people who haven't seen it that involves magic squares, the 42 magic square in particular. If somebody answered that, what I told them I would do is post a video, which I've already recorded, which is very, very long, and I would probably have to put online in 2 sections. I don't plan on putting on TikTok, is breaking up into 10-minute blocks and having people never fucking see it is a waste of my time. I'll probably put a video on TikTok telling people about it, and you'd have to go to YouTube. But I'm planning on doing that with a number of videos, one of which is the Magic Squares video, which is me walking around in real life showing you Masonic brickwork and teaching you things you're not supposed to know. Another one I'm honestly contemplating putting together and leaving online is the 9/11 video, but I don't know where I could host that. Most likely it's going to be flagged immediately. There's a ton of clips I also want to put in there, aside from the shit that people have not brought up and do not understand to this very day. Here's the preface after all that other crap, which isn't technically a preface, but to this day, people still do not know what 9/11 symbolically represents. And I would like to teach you things you're not supposed to know. In other words, spoon feed you things in this case, because it should have come up by now and it's relevant to what we're living through. And I've already recorded it. I should just do it. But same difference. I'm going to have to break it up into sections because it's too long. My channel is so small, YouTube won't let me do certain things. The same with, TikTok. In terms of live videos, people are like, dude, you don't got 1,000 followers. You can't even jump in here and debate shit with me because, yeah, and I'm never going to have 1,000 followers in there, as far as I know, based on 10 years of using the internet and having it get worse and worse and worse. I am censored, unlike most people. And most people with thousands of followers talk about being shadow banned. I don't think they have the faintest. I don't think they know what it means to be shadow banned. To be censored, systematically censored by the patently fascist, hall monitors of the internet, the algorithm, the bots, and the assholes who allowed that, which also touches on you and I. Complacency got us this far, and we never put anything in writing to protect us in this digital medium, in terms of freedom of speech or having rights or anything, which we should have done immediately. I'm shocked that no one did it. Then again, I'm not. It's weird. I have a lot of faith in humanity. Surprisingly, I'm an optimist, despite all the bitching that I've left on the internet. There's a method to my madness, but I am a Pisces, so I'm pretty fucking hopeful, which is why I'm still doing this and trying to reach people. Usually what I'll tell you is pull your head out of your ass. I'm looking for good people worth their salt, willing to put in the time, to use the brain between their ears. That gray matter is what I'm referring to, and to think critically, which is essentially synonymous with abstractly. Because only by doing so will you begin to touch on these things. In other words, you're going to have to take notes, you're going to have to be invested, you're going to have to be involved, and most people aren't. Most people run for the hills, they tune out, they just want something to repeat. And that's why this isn't going anywhere, typically speaking, and this is not my first rodeo leaving something like this online. And I think it might have already bumped over my 10-minute mark if I'm going to leave this on TikTok. So on that note, I'm going to digress, shut the hell up, eat some food, and yeah. Tonight's a little bit of debauchery before I go in for the long haul of good, wholesome suffering. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate some of the new folks who have taken the time to consider what I've left online. And as far as I know, one fella who's been reading what I've left in print. That's amazing, and I appreciate you doing that more than I let on. Seriously, thanks you guys. Take much care, and I'll probably be back in a month if I do disappear for a period of time.